Oh, I'm definitely being stalked. I know I should be worried, but I'm honestly not. And at this point, I kind of want to meet him. I'm not one of those girls that fall in love with psychopaths, just cause they're psychopaths. No, it's not like that at all. This is different. He's stalking me. He's literally killing for me. But I think he's doing it to actively make my life better. He's killing. Okay, really, it's more like sacrificing. People on my behalf. I'm not really sure, but either way, my life has done nothing but improve since these deaths started happening. Plus, I recently started getting DoorDash deliveries to my work for Red Bull that I didn't order. I can't really complain about that, honestly. I mean, yeah, when it first started happening, maybe I was a little concerned, but it very quickly turned into a don't look a gift stalker in the mouth type of deal. It only took 3 of these vicious murders for me to put 2 and 2 together. I was at work when I heard the news of the first one. A man was found with his throat slit, and slit deep. He was posed the way a corpse in a coffin would be, his eyes closed, but with X's drawn all over them with Sharpie. Increasingly disturbing was that his fingernails had been ripped off post-mortem, and he was missing just 4 teeth, 2 from the top and 2 from the bottom. Even worse yet was that his heart had been carved out. It was simply sitting beside his body exactly 16 inches away, with 6 inches of his own hair that had been cut off his head wrapped around it. Basically a weird voodoo doll. The police couldn't figure it out. They had no idea why he was chosen as the victim. They had no idea why his teeth and fingernails were removed after death. They had no idea what sort of weird ritual would require the heart to be wrapped in hair and laid outside of the body with no trauma to it. I really didn't think anything of it when the next day I got an absolutely insane raise at work. The second body was a homeless girl found in the exact same spot, in the exact same position, with her heart laying the exact same distance from her body that the first victim was. And surprise, it was wrapped in the same length of hair. And again, I didn't really think much of it when I was offered a work-from-home job in my field by a company that offered to double my pay and give me a decent signing bonus. It probably should have given me some pause that I didn't apply to that job, and they weren't even hiring at the time. But I mean, come on. You can't blame a broke girl that's desperately trying to get into a great physician's assistant school. And that actually brings me to what caused me to put it all together. A third body was found, and this time, the cops were at a complete loss because they had been stalking out the area. They didn't see anything at all. Every single officer with eyes on the newly cursed ground, as the news called it, had the same story. It was reported that there was nothing, and then suddenly, all in the same second, there was a body, just dumped in the blink of an eye in broad daylight. Even more horrifying is that it was a priest from a nearby parish. He was a well-known and well-loved man. Almost everyone in town, regardless of their denomination, had a positive story about meeting with the good father. His body was also disposed of a tad differently. His nails were still ripped out. He was still missing exactly 4 teeth. His heart was lying exactly 16 inches from his body, wrapped in exactly 6 inches of hair. But his throat wasn't slit. His cause of death instead was asphyxiation. They found his throat stuffed with cotton, and sticking out of his mouth was a note, wrapped in a single strand of hair. If it hadn't been for that note, I never would have been able to link all of this to myself. I got an acceptance letter to that PA program the same afternoon. I never applied. I was always too afraid of rejection. But sure enough, they were impressed by my transcripts. My actual transcripts from high school 7 years ago. They set up my interview for a month from now, and asked if I could bring my letters of recommendation, as well as my references in. Guess I gotta find a handful of people for that in less than a month. Yikes. Later that night, the news released what the note found in his mouth said. I wish I could say my blood ran cold. I wish I could say that I begged and pleaded to God for this not to mean what I knew deep down it meant. But I didn't. No, I just smiled. The note wasn't written in blood or anything odd like that. No, it was just normal black ink on a normal piece of lined paper, and all it said was, anything for her, anything for my love. So, if you've been sacrificing people on my behalf, can you let me know, please? I'd love to meet you.